Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a lot of news for you. It's about the retail apocalypse that's on the way. Stacey's got some news from China and some gold news. And I've got some health news about half the people in the United States have got a disease already. And the children, 40% of them have got one and possibly more. But first I want to feed the fish for you guys. I came out here early to set up a camera so you guys could watch them feed because they are growing.
Yes, they are. And they will bite the heck out of you if you get in the pond now.
Would you put your mic on? Hard-headed woman. That's why you can't hear her, because she won't wear a mic.
Well, hashtag hard-headed woman. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. So the retail apocalypse 2.0. It's going to be worse than the last time. The last time we saw brick and mortar stores go belly up in 2020. When we get done with this, it's speculated that 20% of all national brick and mortar stores will be no more. When they go empty, they're done. This is less goods and services. But let me get into this, and I've got a few that I've listed that are going away to be no more. Some of them are, planning on being out in the next year or two. But once these locations are gone, they're gone. This started prior to the pandemic. Remember when brick and mortar stores started to fizzle out due to online, Amazon, people want to buy stuff online. And I get it, because when I go to the welding shop, the supply store.
You get very frustrated.
They don't have what I need. It's like, guys, this is a great place for a welding supply shop. That's what I told them the last time I was there. Because they don't have it. And their answer is, well, we can order it. Well, I can order it. I need it now. That's why I came. Simple stuff that they should have on the shelf. So, this is coming. It's been on the way. It's in the mail. By the end of 2023, the national brick and mortar footprint may be reduced up to 20% due to retailers leveraging up during these low interest rate, that's what they do. People usually borrow too much, and you get to see who's swimming naked when the tide goes out. And we're going to see, I'm going to talk about those guys in a minute. But we're looking at home good companies, big name businesses like Burger King, GameStop, Sephora, several. But many customers could and will cut their spending even more as we approach this bad spot in time. It doesn't matter how much gold, silver, cash, and Bitcoin you have if you don't have the simple goods and services that you want to purchase and enjoy. That's the quality of life that is being dwindled away. It's going away, and it's not gonna. I think we're gonna experience austerity, a good dose of it, for the first time in the United States, and it's a real bummer. Now here's where I need your guys' help, because I know I'm gonna miss some, but try to think through, and I actually wrote it down. Look how your purchases will impact the economy over time. Think about the stores that, when people start cutting discretionary spending on top of them going out of business, is going to affect the economy. Think of the employees, and try to think of businesses that you think are going to go out that'll be no more.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. So the last couple times I told Chris that I've gone shopping, it seems to be a glut of goods. He's going to feed the fish again. When it comes to like shoes, home accessories, different things like that. And if I speak too loud, sorry. I'm going to try to be careful. I'm wearing my mic now. I usually put it in front of me. But I've noticed when I go shopping now, there seems to be a lot more sales racks. But when you go to the food, obviously, especially the fresh produce, it's less. So keep going. That's interesting, because I've been paying attention to some of this as we've been talking about all this.
Not only will retail employees lose their jobs, but these stores that support local communities will just be closed. And when they're closed, they're gone. We are likely to surpass the number of closures seen in the pandemic when thousands of businesses collapse. Now, and you've got high labor costs, sluggish sales, shoplifting is a big one lately.
Huge.
I was leaving Sam's the other day, and it's the first time they went all the way through my buggy. They went through every single item, and it was, they had 2 lanes set up, And it looked like one was doing like the 3 or 4 they usually do, and the other one was to really, go through it with a fine-tooth comb. It's the first time I've seen that. And I asked her, I said, have you been having people steal?
Yeah.
She said, you would not believe it. It is so bad right now.
Well, okay, sorry to interrupt you again, but I actually forgot. This is me. This is how easy it is to do. I was in Kroger the other day, and I had toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags, all that on the bottom portion of the cart. Completely forgot about it because I was doing self-checkout, walk out, didn't even pay for it. Well, I was being honest, so I walked back in. But think of how many people have actually done that and not even paid and walked out.
Oh, man.
On that, there was one checker. That was it. One in Kroger. And this is a pretty large Kroger.
And I miss that. I like being checked out. I don't want to check my own groceries out.
Well, I
want somebody to do that. I also want somebody to bag them up.
well, good luck with that anymore.
Yeah, all those, that's goods and services that are going away.
Yeah.
Retailing accounts for roughly 10 million jobs. This is significant, coupled with, the current glut of office space that, that's part of it. Now, here's a few things that will be going away first. And please put in the comments some other things that I might miss. Luxury goods and services such as high-end clothing, jewelry, vacations. Home improvement projects, renovations.
Okay, can I interrupt you just 1 second? We're there. So you guys, everybody was making such a big deal the other day about Home Depot. Oh my goodness, their stock went down. What do you guys think? Their stock went down. It was like on a high for like 2 years because everybody was stuck at home. Stimulus checks. And all of a sudden they're like have no money. And they're like pulling back. They're like, nope, not spending money on that.
There's a lot of places pulling back. Expensive electronics. I agree 100%. Who cares about the latest gizmo, the camera that takes better pictures? Dining out at restaurants. Restaurants are about to get hammered. Carlos, $1 million restaurants. He is scaling out of the restaurant business. He's done very well, and I think that is super smart. Good job, buddy. Premium memberships and subscriptions. They're already way down. Unnecessary travel and transportation expenses, rental cars, airfare, we're already starting to see those pull back. Expensive hobbies, recreational activities, sports equipment, golf clubs, non-essential household items, decor, furniture, luxury bedding, charitable donations. Charities are going to get hammered too. Remember to look after the elderly. Try to check on them, get in their business a little bit. Make sure, they're not going to be part of the problem. Do you have anything to add? I can go
No,
on.
somebody actually contacted me about that the other day. They said also the churches. They said the churches are probably going to get hit hard on this kind of stuff. When people start hurting, we believe in tithing. We've been open about that. We've been honest. That's what we believe in, tithing. But they said the churches are going to get hit hard. People will stop tithing.
And I've already been through some of these. There's like 28 on this list. I won't go through all of them, but Bed Bath & Beyond closing 20 stores. Macy closing 125 stores. J.C. Penney plans to close 15 more stores, and they're still closing stores by the end of this year. Victoria's Secret announced it would be closing 250 stores. Now, this is 2020. I went all the way back to 2020. Premier Imports, GNC, they're all closing hundreds of stores. GNC closed 1,200 stores. I'm not going to name them all because I don't have time. I don't want to waste your time. But we're talking double this.
Yeah, and so you're talking about some of these companies, and Macy's, JCPenney's, Pier 1, Steinmart. All these guys have actually been through bankruptcy at least once. And that's what I found kind of interesting. If you guys talk about, when you look about it, if you've been through bankruptcy at least once, now they're going through again, and now they're closing stores. Bed Bath & Beyond, or I think a couple of these guys, they've just finally said, we're done. We're shutting our stores down completely. But Steinmart, I'm surprised they're even open.
Well, most of them, they closed all the stores in 2020.
Okay,
then
they're
back
done.
to 2020.
Okay, I haven't seen one of those
But
stores
I'm
out
noticing
forever.
a lot of Men's Warehouse, J. Crew, Lucky Brand, apparel, clothing. So it might be a good idea if you like a certain pair of pants or, whatever, go ahead and get some. Get ready. There's a glut of goods. When these stores are gone and they don't open back up, those goods are gone. So, think about that.
Yeah, because I read an article the other day about even China. They're struggling. They said they're even struggling on their end because I guess their export business has like gone down. So they're even struggling. And I'll give you another thing right now. Said for the first time in decades, the number of people without access to modern energy is growing. And you guys, this is from the World Economic Forum. You guys check this out. I tell you all the time, just go to the World Economic Forum. It says it right here. Some 75 million people who just got access to electricity may no longer be able to afford it, while 100 million people are going to need to return to cooking using wood and other sources. This is off the World Economic Forum. They're talking about a climate change that was meeting the Paris Agreement and all this kind of stuff. But you guys get on here. I recommend all the time, and I say this, but you guys get on these sites. It will tell you what's happening. It will tell you. We talk about this. What else do you want to talk about?
No, it's a way to look into the future to see what they got on their mind. I'm not saying all their plans are going to come true, because I rebuke it. But
more than half of young American workers think that they won't do as well financially as their parents. And this is a study, you guys. 42% between 24 and 35, they live paycheck to paycheck. And I've talked to so many people that they literally live paycheck to paycheck. It said shaky economy is largely to blame. You got rate hikes, inflation. The job market is tough. People are graduating with college degrees, and he and I have talked about this before, with college degree loans. They can't get a job to even pay for those loans. I'll give you another article where it says they only have $400. What was I telling you? They have, with an average monthly bill, they can't even afford, if they have a $400 bill come up with, it's like a kind of an expense, they can't even afford it.
That's a scary place to be. There's going to be some people that are really going to go without. And it's the younger generation. Everybody I talk to that's watching, paying attention, is really worried and concerned about the younger generation coming up. And speaking of the younger generation, you may go to this.
Go for it.
This is nutty, guys. The food is poisoning us. Nearly half of Americans have a chronic disease. 170 million people. And the saddest part is those people that have taught their kids how to eat bad, and I'm not talking down to you guys at all. This is the food is addictive. It's engineered to be that way. But 40% of children and adolescents currently have one chronic disease. It's a tremendous burden. It costs them about $6,000 a year personally, and it costs the system $3 trillion a year. So we're losing some daylight here.
And we are.
But I want to get through this real quick. Several doctors have come up and said they've noticed an uptick recently in this, and it's the same thing. Respiratory therapist is another one. They're seeing respiratory disease such as asthma and COPD tick up, and it's also a $6,000 bill. Chronic illnesses often result in a loss of work productivity, which is indirect increases the financial burden. And if you don't feel good, you don't get anything done. If I don't feel right, good luck prepping. Good luck working hard and getting things done with your side hustles, because that's what you're going to have. If you don't have $400 for an expense that comes up, an emergency, you're going to have a side hustle and cut the fat aggressively. Cut your wants aggressively and try to get a little nest egg. Even if it's small, it's okay. Try to get some food, and I really think hard times are coming. But, we've got some stimmies coming eventually, I think. So think
we'll
about
see
that too.
But credit card debt right now is reaching $1 trillion. So you guys, if you have credit card debt, we've preached this a million times. But man, you guys, try to pay off that credit card debt. And Chris, what he was saying right there, you guys take a look at what you're eating. And I know it's not fun. I know it's not something pretty, and it's not.
No, people are clicking off when we talk about diet because it's
They
an uncomfortable
do.
subject.
But you guys, there's so many people right now that are sick. There's so many people right now that are dealing with illnesses. And you guys, I've talked to you guys all the time when you call in. But if you would just look at your food, if you would just check out your food, it might help just a little bit.
The reason we mention it all the time is because it saved Stacey's life.
It did.
Changing her food changed everything.
Yep, it did.
She had lupus. For those of you that are just watching, she had lupus really, really bad. And we were able to change her diet. and weed out
And
the
I'm
things that didn't work
amazing.
with her, and she's good.
Yep.
She's good to go.
All right, before we go real quick, I want to touch on gold and silver just really quick because look at this, the sun is going down and we are almost in the dark. Zimbabwe, oh my goodness, guess what? They are putting gold in their bank and they're going to issue tokens. And guess what? It's going to be backed by gold. Actually backed by gold. Yep, that you heard it correctly. That's exactly what's happening. U.S. debt ceiling debates, they are saying it's going to possibly push the gold to $3,000 an ounce. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's just some highlights. You guys to tell me what you think. Biden even came out and he's even said, as crazy as he is, whatever he's doing, he said, graduates, he said, they're going to look for you. He was at an academy today, which you guys noticed, and he fell, and it was a pretty horrible video to watch. But either he said it or somebody wrote it for him. And they said they're going to look for you for guidance and inspiration because the world is going to get more confusing. So he even said this. They're going to put trust in you. You guys, the world is just kind of turned upside down.
Saying,
well, he just read whatever, but obviously they're saying it. Grandparents, this is another thing right now that's in the world right now. So if you guys have noticed a lot of childcare, and man, we are so in the dark right now. I don't even know if you can see us, but childcare right now, they're turning to their own grandparents right now because people can't even afford childcare. So grandparents are having to step in, and unfortunately, they're saying that this is affecting the grandparents' ability to make income because the grandparents are still having to make income because they're not being able to meet their bills. So this is becoming an issue, childcare.
It's really starting to happen fast. It's really getting worse. So we're out of daylight. Thank you. If you made it to the end, thank you because it's dark.
Yeah, it is.
And guys, thank you for being here. It's going to be good. We're not fear mongering. I do desire to give you the news. And the news isn't very pleasant lately. Hopefully, we'll have some better news. Tomorrow, maybe I'll do a good news story. So, guys, have an awesome, awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.